Egypt and Qatar have issued a joint statement affirming their ongoing intensive efforts to reconcile differences and resolve obstacles in Gaza's ceasefire negotiations. Coordinating closely with the United States, Egypt and Qatar affirmed their commitment to intensifying diplomatic efforts to overcome challenges hindering progress. Egypt and Qatar call on all parties to act responsibly and support mediators striving to end the Gaza crisis. The joint statement also emphasized the urgent need to reach a temporary 60-day truce, paving the way for a permanent ceasefire that restores stability and calm to the region. The Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has said his government has implemented broad governmental and constitutional reforms based on reducing violence and terrorism. He condemned the targeting of civilians under any circumstance. Addressing the internal Palestinian divide, he stated that Hamas would not be recognized as a political faction unless it aligns with the Palestine Liberation Organization, and called on the group to relinquish control of Gaza, which it took by force. He demanded the immediate release of withheld Palestinian funds by the Israeli government and called for a ceasefire in Gaza at any cost. The president affirmed that the Palestinian Authority is ready to assume full civil and security responsibilities in the Gaza Strip. Jordan's King Abdullah II has met with an Arab Islamic ministerial delegation in Amman after Israel blocked their planned visit to the occupied West Bank. The group, formed to push for an end to the war in Gaza, held a virtual meeting with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Jordan and other Arab states condemned Israel's move as a violation of international law. Egyptian and Saudi foreign ministers called it a sign that Israel rejects peace, with Saudi Arabia urging immediate recognition of Palestine. The delegation's visit comes ahead of a UN conference in New York, co-hosted by Saudi Arabia and France, aimed at securing a Gaza ceasefire and boosting support for Palestinian statehood. Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi has condemned Netanyahu's government for destroying hospitals and using starvation as a weapon. During a press conference where the Arab Ministerial Committee delegation addressed the situation in Gaza, al-Safadi criticized Israel's decision to block the Arab delegation's visit to Ramallah as a reflection of its extremism and reaffirmed their commitment to achieving just peace in the region while condemning the ongoing Israeli attacks on Palestinians. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati has emphasized the Arab Ministerial Committee's multifaceted approach to the Palestinian cause. Abdel-Ati called for an immediate halt to the bloodshed in Gaza and the release of detainees, stressing the need for increased humanitarian aid. The Egyptian Foreign Minister highlighted Egypt's intensive efforts with Qatar and the U.S. to stop the violence, noting that no aid trucks have entered Gaza in 80 days and condemning the starvation policy as a violation of basic human rights. Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan has criticized Israel's refusal to permit a delegation of Arab ministers to meet in the occupied West Bank, calling it a clear sign of extremism and rejection of peace. His statements came during a joint news conference with counterparts from Egypt, Jordan, and Bahrain in Amman. Earlier, Israel announced it will not allow the planned meeting in Ramallah, the Palestinian administrative capital, to take place on Sunday. UNRWA Chief Philip Lazzarini has described Gaza's current aid distribution system as a death trap, forcing thousands of desperate people to travel long distances through heavily bombed and dangerous areas to receive basic assistance. In a post on X, Lazzarini called the system humiliating and said it has pushed vulnerable civilians already suffering from severe shortages of food, water, and medical supplies into life-threatening conditions. He urgently called on to lift the ongoing siege and grant the UN safe, unhindered access to all parts of Gaza to ensure timely and effective delivery of humanitarian aid. Lazzarini warned that without immediate changes, Gaza faces mass starvation and a worsening humanitarian catastrophe. Doctors Without Borders has condemned the deadly Israeli attack on Palestinians in Rafah that killed at least 30 and injured 150 at an aid distribution point. MSF warned that the U.S.-Israeli humanitarian aid plan for Gaza is failing catastrophically and criticized Israel for weaponizing aid to force displacement and ethnic cleansing. The group condemned Israel's restrictive control over aid, which suffocates Gaza's humanitarian system by allowing only limited aid deliveries, and described this as a policy of inhuman treatment over 19 months. MSF warned that using aid as a tool of war may amount to crimes against humanity. The director of Humanitarian Affairs at Save the Children in Gaza, Rachel, has described the situation in the Strip as catastrophic and tragic, particularly for children following the closure of hospitals. She warned that Gaza is on the brink of famine, with widespread malnutrition among children. Cummings added, education has come to a complete halt. Homes are destroyed and children are living through a major humanitarian tragedy. She stressed that the needs of children are immense and growing, and current efforts are far from sufficient. Ongoing bombardment, forced displacement, and evacuation orders are making it nearly impossible to deliver aid effectively. Mohammed Abu Salmiya, director of Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City, has highlighted the severe healthcare crisis in the Strip. He reported critical shortages of blood and clean water affecting hospitals, including dialysis units. Abu Salmiya revealed that 5 cancer patients die at home each day due to lack of medical care. The Commission of Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs has reported that Palestinian prisoners in Israel's Megiddo prison, especially minors, are enduring systematic starvation and repeated beatings by prison authorities. Lawyer Fadi Ibrahim Shemi said 24-year-old detainee from Nablus has lost 22 kilograms since his arrest in May 2023 due to ongoing food deprivation. He's awaiting a court session on June 22, 2025. Minor detainees, both arrested in April 2025, have suffered multiple beatings during transfers and detention. Prison authorities frequently limit or deny legally mandated outdoor time, and scabies infections are rising due to poor hygiene, ventilation, and lack of medical care. Food portions remain severely limited, barely sufficient for survival. The Gaza Civil Defense has reported carrying out 31 emergency missions from Saturday morning to Sunday during Israeli attacks. These included 3 rescue operations, 17 medical evacuations, and 5 firefighting responses across Gaza. In North Gaza, rescuers pulled a person from rubble in Jabalia and treated gunshot wounds. Fires were extinguished in homes in Jabalia and Gaza City. Multiple injuries were reported Gaza City, Central Gaza, and Khan Yunis, including 9 wounded at an aid distribution point strike. 5 casualties were recovered near Jenin Mosque in El Mawasi.